The following video is intended for educational and informational purposes only. All strategies and content presented are for demonstration purposes and do not constitute financial, investment, or trading advice. Some of the materials, including clips and concepts, are sourced from publicly available content from Fidelity Investments Learning and Investopedia, used under fair use for educational purposes.
We'll be looking at an options buying strategy called the long call. We're going to review why you might choose a long call and show what happens when the price of the call's underlying investment rises, falls, or stays flat. The long call is less complex than other options strategies, so it's a good place to start our discussion about buying options. Let's take a closer look. If you watched our video that laid out the 4 main actions behind every options trading strategy, then you might remember that long call is another term for buying a call. People who buy calls are usually bullish on the underlying investment. For example, they see a stock or an ETF that they expect to rise, but they also want to limit their downside risk. Buying a call is also a way to take advantage of the opportunity to potentially enhance your returns. You can control 100 shares of that stock for the cost of the option rather than buying those 100 shares outright. Let's break down how it works with a hypothetical example. Say you buy one call for XYZ stock with a strike price of $42 and a $2 premium. Because options contracts typically cover 100 shares, that means you're paying $200 per contract versus the $4,200 it would cost you to buy 100 shares of the stock. Now let's use a profit and loss chart to look at different scenarios you might experience. This chart shows the potential profit and loss on the trade depending on whether the stock price has risen or fallen at the contract's expiration date. It's a simple way to show how it works, but you should also know that the profit and loss chart can look quite different at various times before the expiration date. Because remember, as we discussed in an earlier video, time and volatility contribute to an option's extrinsic value, which impacts pricing. To think about the risk you're taking, look at the left side of the chart. If the stock price remains below the strike price before the contract's expiration, you won't exercise the call, and the maximum loss in this case is the $2 premium you spent to buy the option. Even if the stock goes all the way down to zero, you don't have to worry about losing more than $200, which is the $2 per share premium times the 100 shares that the contract covers. You face the same outcome if the stock price is flat when your contract expires. If the underlying investment price never rises above your strike price, the option won't gain any value. So again, you would lose the $200 you spent to buy the option. Now let's look at what happens if the stock price goes up. On the right side of the chart, we can see your potential profits from a rising stock price. And the good news is that your upside is theoretically unlimited. The call gives you the right to buy 100 shares of XYZ stock, and if you exercise it, your gains will increase as long as the stock keeps going up. But you can also profit from this strategy without exercising the option. Because if the underlying stock price rises, you could sell the contract to another options trader at a higher price. To help decide when to exercise the option, you need to know the contract's break-even point, which in this example is the $42 strike price plus the $2 per share premium. That number will give you a sense of how much the stock price has to move to earn you a profit on this trade. Don't worry, I'll explain. When you buy a stock outright, you can start making money as soon as the price rises. But when you buy an option like a call, you need the stock price to rise enough to cover the premium you paid. Here's another chart to illustrate how this would look in our example trade. You bought the $42 call for $2, which locks in your right to purchase shares for $42 at any time up until the contract's expiration date. That means that the stock price has to be at least $44 to earn back your $2 premium per share if you hold it all the way to expiration. And the stock price has to be above $44, your break-even point, for you to start profiting. That's our overview of how the long call works. But if you want to dive a little deeper into this strategy and explore potential long call trades, take a look at a profit and loss calculator. This tool can help you model different options trades and calculate those important numbers we just talked about, like maximum profit or loss and your break-even point. You can change details like the price and the expiration date to see how it would affect your potential results, and then even place a trade you like directly from the calculator. So, that's all for this video, but it's far from the end of our look at options buying strategies. Next up, we'll cover additional options buying strategies to help you keep building your options knowledge.